Hello everybody, this is the monthly trend scan of the futures market, and let's focus here on these higher time frames. That's a quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then daily and 240. Now on the this is the US dollar index, the DX future, and this is the quarterly chart. So what we have here is an important long-term entry signal, right? So if this chart goes down, this means that the dollar is losing its value. And this is a very long stretch consolidation pattern that went from 2004 into 2020. And this bar, that's an excitable price action event. We can better actually see it here on the monthly chart. This is the impact of the Corona crisis in March 2020 on the markets. We had other asset classes like US equities, for example, where we had a bigger impact. But here on the US dollar index chart, we have an impact, right? We've got a long upper and lower wick, and that's a Corona crisis panic bar. Let's call it like that. And it actually marked an important turning point, right? You see here, it rebroke this consolidation pattern that can be defined by this horizontal line, the base. So what we see here is, we have here on the bottom, on the lower side, we have a couple of stop run levels. Now with the rebreak, we can see that the bears are getting stronger. Like the bulls had their chance, right? They could make it run to the upside. They couldn't. So this is a breakout failure, basically. So now the bears come in, they show strength, and now they have the big opportunity to run for these stop run levels. This one, and this one. So I'm foreseeing the US dollar to loosen its value quite considerably. And the target area is basically, it's down here. That means that it's going to lose its value by around 50%. This has some rippling effects, right, on other asset classes. First, in order to actually develop momentum on the downside, the US dollar actually wants to break this level here, the dotted green line. This is basically coming from a prior pattern, which was a long pattern that is about, that didn't develop a lot of follow through. And if this line gives in, then we should actually see the momentum to start. Now let's have a look at some other asset classes. So let's start with US equities. Now here, that's the Dow Jones Futures contract, the YM, right? So this is the Corona crisis panic bar. It's much bigger, right? It's embedded within an overall consolidation. This time on a monthly chart, right? This is a consolidation, and we got an entry signal here long as well. Now the US equities are basically in a vertical market, and this is what we see here, where prices go vertical, and that's basically they're moving into a bubble. You never know when a bubble bursts, right? So you actually should trade vertical markets here long as long as they as long as it's possible, right? Such a move, you can see, we have quarterly bars, bullish, a succession of quarterly bullish bars. That's great to be traded in lower time frames. And we can see how that translates here on the weekly chart. We've got a very strong and smooth trend. This is what we call a super trend. And a super trend can be executed very well with system 3 of the futures workshop. Now let's have a look as well how the NASDAQ, for example, just to get an idea how a vertical market could look like. I mean, we really go vertical here, right? That looks incredible. And most traders actually shy away from this situation, but this is a situation where you can make most money, right? In a vertical market. This might continue for another couple of quarters, or we might get a big pullback, a correction. And a correction, if it comes, the correction will be deep, right? We might come down here by even by 50%, and we would still be in a strong uptrend. Now let's move to the next asset class here, the metals. And let's check out here the gold chart. Now, gold has been in a long, after hitting here in 2011 a high at around $2,000, but it has been in a long stretched consolidation, right? And this consolidation actually gave us an S to a turtle entry signal. And we got in at quite good prices, around 1,500, right, with a tight stop. And we broke to a new all-time high. This turtle pattern is subtle but very powerful. This is not the end of it, right? This should go much higher towards the $5,000 price level. So now we are in consolidation mode. And we can see it, well, on the weekly and better on the daily. Well, the daily has plotted another entry signal. This was a panic sell bar. That's the test, the so-called test bar, an excitable price action event we're looking out for. Right? That's another system one pattern. That's the entry. And we're actually looking, for these stop run levels to be run over. Now, price has come very close, basically it shied away. And with the next trial, well, we might actually take those out and move to the next level, which is this prior high. We have got a couple of stop run levels here, right, before we break this last high in order to move towards the 5,000 level. I'm actually more bullish for silver. I like silver more because silver has, well, this is again here, this is the Corona panic bar. And we got an entry signal relatively early here, right, on month 2 after this panic bar. And it has developed nicely. I mean, we got up to $30 an ounce. This huge move, well, we got a lot of trading opportunities in lower time frames. We were able to scale in and build a pyramid. Now, putting that into context, this is the overall pattern here, right? And there's a lot of room to go. This is just the first leg in a multi-leg uptrend. So I'm looking for breaking the last high at around 53, and this should go towards the $200 levels. So that's basically only the first move. We are consolidating here as well, same as with gold. And this is basically starting here to plot an S2 turtle pattern. And I'm looking forward, well, gold might have actually plotted, might have just started, second leg up. And if it does, well, gold and silver are kind of correlated, or then silver might be ready to put another leg, the second leg in, and we should get to prices around $40. So basically double again. Now let's have a look at the next asset class, energies. Now crude is an interesting chart, right? And we had this sell off here down to levels below, I think it was $7.40 the barrel. So that was quite amazing, this sell-off, right? Well, prices have recovered. Well, this again is our test bar, right? Our excitable price action event. And now we are very close here to run for these stops. And there's a lot of room to go. Well, we actually have another pattern here. That's a gecko pattern on the daily that has triggered about 2 weeks ago. And we might actually see like these stop runs levels be taken out, and we have room to go towards the 200 moving average here on the quarterly chart. Now, gasoline, the RB future, is actually front running. Well, they're kind of correlated, right? Crude oil and gasoline, but gasoline is front running crude. And we had a very early entry signal down here on the monthly chart, and it already has run for those stops. That's what we can foresee for crude. Now, again, here we're kind of basically getting into a vertical market, right? This might pull back or it might not pull back. Well, as long as the trend is active and we are in super trend mode here on the weekly, well, as long as we're in a strong trend, well, you want to trade that along, because trends tend to persist longer than you might ever imagine they could. Now, natural gas, it's another energies contract, right? It's kind of a crazy little brother that it's doing kind of, very volatile things, but it's a great trading instrument. I mean, we had great trading opportunities here on the weekly chart with this up move, and we had another up move. I think it was this one that could be traded long nicely. Then we had a short entry signal right here. Well, this didn't show any follow through, right? And whenever a pattern doesn't show follow through, well, then it's basically failing. And a failure of a short pattern, of a strong short pattern, well, it's a counter trend signal. That's what we were expecting. We're expecting to run for this stop, this, and this is actually what happened. We've got a big up move. It even spiked the 200. We've seen such volatile spikes before, right here, back in November 2018. I actually believe, because natural gas is coming from $35, right, down to $3, well, down to below $3. Well, this is the last of those hard assets that is still in a downtrend. And I believe that we have just put in here a reversal signal. And this hard asset is the last one actually to get into an uptrend. Well, obviously, starting from this low base of below $3, I mean, there's a lot of room to go, right? Well, the target is breaking these highs and move above 35. So I'm very much looking forward, if this gets confirmed, to trade that long. It's a great trading contract. So this is it for this month. We have got some new developments, and let's see how these months continue for the rest of the year. Thank you.